We all had potato chips. Jamie. Honestly, that would make things a lot better right now. I could
Grab me
def
some potato chips.
Yeah, I could definitely use a bag of potato chips.
Bring some in here.
Ugh, there we go.
Big Dan joined.
Oh, dude, Big Dan? Mario Tuber? It's my boy. I don't know if you can see behind me, but River with her stupid cone. She has a cone on her head right now.
What'd she do?
We had to amputate her toe.
What?
Yeah, she had cancer on one of her toes, and it had like a tumor on it. And
On
they
a
went,
toe?
yeah, they had like the biopsy, and it had cancer. So they were like, well, we could remove the toe, and I was like, yeah, just remove it. I'm not gonna do weird treatments. So she just
Well,
has three toes now. She's
that's good that that's really weird, but that's good that it just was in the toe.
Yeah, apparently it's like super common for dogs to get cancer in their toes, like on their paws. But she got that shit cut off. It's gone.
Henry has a tumor that is massive right next to his junk. Like
Oh, dude, that
it's like
sucks.
pushing on his junk, so it is not good.
Oh, yeah, and it's not cheap to get it removed. Let me tell you.
Well, yeah, we're not even gonna try that.
Let me tell you.
On top of it, I think his food caused it. I think like he's getting tumors all over, and I think it's because of medicated food that he got, which is
Oh, that sucks.
just like
Chelsea was
why
kind of thinking that River's tumor might have been the food she eats too.
yeah, why did we get that? That food is supposed to help him, and then it just creates more issues. It's so stupid.
Some bullshit. Well, let's get started. Where are we at? Episode 7. We about that action. Um, I'm gonna let you do the intro because I'm so lost right now. Here we go.
Did you start this? Oh, there you go. Cool.
I just had to scroll
All
up.
right, welcome in episode 7, Bout That Action. Today, we're going to be talking about the Olympics. Tons going on. Big USA basketball game happened yesterday, which was crazy.
Sheesh.
Talk about USA golf from the last weekend. Craziness with the new breakdancing event, which is just actually hilarious. And getting into the NFL upcoming season. What's going on, Tiff?
What's up, idiot? I was just kind of giving you the breakdown. What's going on in my life? My dog had to get her toe removed, which is kind of cool. So now she has like a little turkey leg. And then I spent the last 3 hours in my front yard digging up a sewer pipe because there's roots growing through my sewer pipe. So that was cool.
In
What?
99-degree heat.
Yeah, exactly. So, just the usual shit. What's going on with you?
I'm drinking some Blade and Bow
Oh, dude,
for the
turn up.
viewers. I have no alcohol in the house except for whiskey, so I gotta guzzle it down.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I definitely need to go make an alcohol run. So right now I'm just drinking a Pepsi. That's all I got.
Dude.
I crushed all my beers last night, so need to make a beer run, quick alcohol run. I know Booblet's coming into town this week, so we're probably
Uh-oh.
gonna get turned.
Uh-oh.
Uh oh, it just switched to me. What the hell? I don't know what it's doing. It's like switching between us, but I don't care. That's fine.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, here's another week, episode 7, which is crazy. We're diving in deep into the NFL season. You'll see us more talk about NFL, but luckily we got the Olympics. So yeah, let's jump right into it. The
Let's go.
Olympics. We got one weekend left. It's been really fun to watch, to tell you the truth. New events, more coverage, everything else. Right now, the medal count, the U.S. is kind of running away with it. We got 111 medals overall. The gold medal race is tied up with China, 33 to 33. The
No,
other races we
you have to
got
say it like Trump.
China,
China. We're tied with China.
which is crazy. I mean, China wins all those like kind of gimmicky sports. those
Yeah,
like
they definitely know how to
fancy.
like. Yeah, exactly. They make up for it with gold medals in like really obscure areas.
Yeah, like they have people training. They're like, hey, you're gonna do team synchronized swimming, and you're gonna start from the age that you're 2, and you're gonna go with other 2-year-olds until you win a gold medal.
Yeah.
Whereas the U.S. is like, all right, well, we're gonna play sports and then run really fast.
Yeah, we're gonna win golds in the sports that everyone actually plays. Other than
Yeah,
soccer, for some reason, we're terrible at soccer.
yeah. So the big starting off first with USA basketball. Beat Brazil earlier this week in the quarterfinals, just absolutely handed it to them.
Crushed them.
But really had some adversity yesterday playing Serbia.
Serbia, dude. Oh my lord.
Well, Serbia's got 3-time MVP Nikolai Jokic. They got Bogdanovic, and they got a lot of those other Viches.
A lot of bitches on that team. But
They played really well. Like,
here's the
yeah, I mean,
thing, and it bothers me, is most of those guys, other than Jokic, are serviceable fifth option players on whatever team they're going to play in the NBA, right? None of those guys are all stars, other than Jokic. So, how the fuck do we have a team that has Steph Curry, KD, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, like the list goes on, and they were getting ran. Like honestly, the fact that they won that game is amazing. It's a miracle that Steph Curry just kind of like went off at the end, but like how do you even get in that situation?
well, I will say Steph didn't go off at the end. Steph kept him in the game
That's
throughout the
true.
game.
That's true.
I mean, he did hit some shots at the end, but Steph was
I feel like he hit a
um,
couple big ones at the end that kind of
he
shifted the
yeah,
energy.
he hit some free throws and then hit a three, but
Yeah,
um, LeBron just played out of his mind. I mean, triple double, 40
which
years
is
old.
huge. Yeah,
I mean, he just played out of his mind. Embiid played really well actually
he did.
after
That was
you
actually his
know
best game, I think, of the Olympics.
not playing well. Devin Booker hit a massive three um, that put him up. Uh, Actually, Durant on that second to last possession, which you could see actually Carmelo Anthony in the crowd calling the play for him. Steve Kerr, they weren't even looking at Steve Kerr. Carmelo Anthony's
They're
on the
looking at
opposite side
Carmelo
calling the
Anthony.
play. And they basically set a screen for Durant, clear out, and let him go. And he made a big mid-range jumper to put him up four. I mean, they were down
They
15 in the
squeaked
fourth
by,
quarter.
man. They squeaked by.
They were
Yeah,
down
it's just
15 in the fourth quarter.
yep. Yeah, I was just blown away. I actually stopped watching. I was at work, so I was kind of watching like on and off. But I stopped watching when I think they were down by like 9 or 10 still. It was like they were starting to make the comeback, but I was like, I don't think they're
Mm.
going to do it, and I had to go do something. So I didn't even get to really watch the entire end of the game. Um, but yeah, man, in the third quarter, I was just like, KD couldn't make a shot to save his life.
Neither team could. I mean, that whole third quarter was just brick, 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 brick,
Brick,
brick,
yeah,
brick, brick,
it
brick.
was crazy.
And then all of a sudden, the U.S. just went on a run. I mean, it was like 15, and then it was U.S. up by one in a matter of like minutes.
Right,
I mean, seconds. It was crazy.
that's so crazy.
Yeah, Steph was unbelievable. I mean, Steph has played like shit this entire Olympics, and then for
Easily
him to
his
come
best
out,
game, and I think
yeah,
LeBron too. He went off. So, and
yeah,
those are the two players, honestly, when you look at the roster, that you kind of expect to step up in that situation, right?
yeah.
Like it's going to be the two best players on the team. They need to put it together and make it happen, and they did. But it seemed like it was more trouble than it should have been for that team that they were playing. So I don't know. I was a little disappointed in it.
They
But
did.
we
I
still got
mean,
the W.
Serbia hit some big threes. I mean, they had a
Yeah.
Avramovic hit like four threes.
Didn't
Dobrich hit three threes.
don't they have a guy?
Bogdanovic,
Yeah, don't they have a guy named like Doncic on that team? But it's not like Luca.
Dobrich, and then
Oh, maybe it was
Jovic.
Dobrich. Yeah, okay.
Dobrich hit some big
He was
threes, and
hitting
then
big threes. I was like, God damn, this guy can't miss.
Bogdanovic hit some big shots and had a
Yeah,
big and one. I mean, they played team. I mean, they played like Jokic ball. They played team ball. They passed it around, found the open man, and got good shots.
right.
The U.S. just in the second half put on the pressure. They got offensive rebounds. They got rebounds. They just played physical, and they're just like, all right, fuck this. We're gonna win this game, and they willed
Yeah.
it. Which I think there's some people that are rooting against the U.S. to win.
Oh
They're kind
yeah,
of.
everyone wants to see them fail because they're the favorites. Like obviously,
But we got France coming up tomorrow
that's gonna
at
be a tough
12:30.
one.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a tough one.
yeah. They already beat France in the kind of exhibit games, or exhibition games, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, that one's gonna be tough. I kind of
We'll
predicted
see.
that was gonna be the final two,
Mhm.
just because literally the last two drafts, the first overall pick was from France. So they're doing something right. They're producing some top tier players over there. So
Yeah, they're pretty loaded. They're young, but they're loaded.
yeah,
I'm surprised Canada didn't get through. Canada just kind of choked. I mean, they're pretty loaded.
yeah. I mean they have
Uh,
Shea, Gilgeous-Alexander,
yeah,
uh,
Dylan Brooks.
yeah,
You
Dylan
got Andrew
Brooks.
Wiggins.
Yep,
I
yep.
mean,
A lot
they're
of
they're
good talent on that team.
they're pretty loaded, but they lost. Yeah, France will be a tough one. I mean, France was tough the first time they played. I believe who did they beat in the semis? Was it Germany?
Yeah, it was Germany.
Um, yeah, I mean they're going to come to play, especially being at home. We'll see.
I think
We'll see.
yeah.
I think the U.S. is going to blow them out.
Is Wembayama playing for France right
Yeah,
now? He is okay.
yeah,
And he's a freak. I mean, he was
yeah,
the when we did our episode a couple weeks ago when we were asking what's the one player you'd build your franchise around. Dude, Wemby all
yeah,
the way.
yeah. He's been one of the most efficient players in the Olympics too.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah, it was like Shea and then him.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we got Anthony
So
Edwards, so they better watch out.
yeah, who didn't? Another big news story is Jason Tatum didn't play again, which people are making a big deal out of. I think it's hilarious because I hate Jason Tatum and I hate the Celtics.
Yeah.
I just
Are
think
you
it's
really
hilarious.
surprised though? Because I'm not.
No, no, not at all. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think he fits in. I think yeah, I don't think he's a team player. They're playing people on his team that aren't like, as top tier as him because
Right.
he's not a team player. And he sucks. I mean, it's like he goes into games and he's terrible. I mean, Jaylen Brown should have been on the team over Jason Tatum.
That's actually a good point. I agree with that a lot.
And I wish there were some Celtics fans listening so that they could hear that.
And then we could punch him in the lip.
Yeah, because I'd say it probably 12 more times.
Just to piss him off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch over and bring up that medal count real quick, just so people can see it, because it's kind of crazy. But yeah, total is 111 to 83, and we're tied for golds with China, which is nuts.
Yeah, some more events that came in, track events. Noah Lyles, who's big in the track world, he was famous from a couple years ago, basically talking crap about the NBA being a world championship, like when you win the NBA title, and saying it's not a world championship. A world championship is when you win at the Olympics. And Noah Lyles won the gold in the 100 meter.
He's a puss.
Um, in the 200 meter event, he just won the bronze while he had COVID. So he
That's
ran the race
crazy.
with COVID and had a fever of 102,
That's insane.
which is pretty wild.
Because yeah, when I had COVID, I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I was sick as fuck, and I was just like, I'm just gonna crawl up in bed and watch Netflix for like 3 days.
Yeah, I think maybe he was supposed to run in the relay too. And I know like the men's 4x100 meter relay, like they were pretty favored and they lost because of a bad baton pass.
Oh,
But yeah, I think he was supposed to be on the team. I know women's 4x100 won the gold, which was a really cool race to see. And then the men's, I believe, 400 meter was a crazy race. There's a guy that runs that is just like broken world records and everything, and he came back. He looked like he doesn't even know how to run. And the dude just I mean, he's like a gazelle. I mean, the dude
yeah.
just big strides.
Those are the
Barely
people
looks
that
like he's moving.
always surprise you. That's like the chick from the Netherlands. Did you see that video when she
Yeah,
caught up from behind and won? Dude,
yeah,
her legs weren't even moving fast. She was just just like a deer. It was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Same thing with this guy. I mean, he flies around the track. It's
Those big old
unbelievable.
strides. Yeah.
The big kind of controversial news: the women's boxing just came to an end, and the Algerian woman, I guess, won.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah,
Would have
which
never guessed that.
faced a I think the person that they faced was similar in genetic makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The
and
person they faced was a girl from China.
it was an actual girl.
Yeah, it wasn't the guy from Taiwan.
Oh, that was Taiwan.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, there's just controversy. I don't know what to believe or what it is or anything like that. I still kind of stand by the fact that I don't think the Olympic Committee would allow that to happen, but who knows?
Yeah. I do think it's interesting that recently the guy that is in charge of like the world championship boxing for women
Mm,
came out and reiterated again that this is why this person wasn't allowed to box in our organization, because they don't believe that that's a girl.
mm,
So it is interesting that an entire boxing organization, the world championship, is basically fighting the Olympics and throwing a little smoke their way, saying like, "This is you guys fucked up. Like this shouldn't have happened." And I still agree with that. I think it's ridiculous. It would take a lot for someone to convince me that that's a girl,
mm.
based on the videos I've seen. It just doesn't pass the eye test, and I don't think there has to be that much of a scientific explanation for someone to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I wasn't surprised. We were joking about it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go throw $100 on it in Vegas because that's a dude. And
I think
sure
it's
enough, I was
wild.
right.
I think it's wild that people can do boxing over and over again like this. Like, think about that. Like in professional boxing, you have a boxing match and you wait a couple months
Yeah,
and train for the next one, and they have back to back to back to back,
which is crazy,
which I think is wild.
and
I mean,
probably
that's
not like healthy because you're getting your head rattled. That's like borderline concussion syndromes and shit.
yeah,
And you need to let your brain heal. And if you just give it a couple days and then do it again, like that's kind of sketch.
yeah, yeah. I
So,
know she or he, whatever, probably she, um, spoke out after the fact and spoke out against bullying. So,
did she say, "Don't bully me"
yeah, yeah,
with a huge Adam's apple?
yeah. So yeah, so we got the closing ceremonies coming up. A lot of the big events coming up. I know U.S. women's soccer is coming to an end, which will be a big one, and men's basketball, women's basketball, and I don't know really what they finish with usually after that, but there's been some good stuff at the Olympics.
Yeah, it's been a
Uh,
good one. There's been some really good battles. It's been fun to watch.
I know the one of the wrestlers that won on the women's side is actually from Walnut Creek up the street, so
Really?
a local winner, yeah,
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
went to DVC.
Oh shit, nice.
It's very local. So, some more lighthearted. If you want to pull up these videos,
Mm-hmm.
this year was the first year that they tried breakdancing in the Olympics, which sounds interesting. But when I first thought about it, I was like, hey, they have dancing routines and gymnastics, and they just put some judges out there to judge them. But then the rage on the internet right now is
Oh, video
basically
unavailable.
uh,
MP9.
it's on there again.
MP5.
If you hit more breakdancing, there's a video right there of the same one. So this lady is her name's Ray Gun, and I don't know what country she's from to tell you the truth, but
Is that breakdancing?
yeah. So I think some of the funniest things that popped up with comments is like this one says, "Me looking for the remote in our bed."
Yeah.
The other funny thing was when I'm trying to get out from under my duvet and I'm too hot at night.
Cool.
I saw one that said when you get a calf cramp in the middle of the night.
Oh, dude, that's real.
But yeah, this is embarrassing.
That's not breakdancing. That's hilarious.
The whole routine is bad. Very, very bad.
Good try. Good try. Next time.
Yeah,
Next time.
good try. I mean, the rest I won't hate on it. The rest of the breakdancing was good. There's like crazy moves, crazy. I mean, people are doing crazy stuff, and then you got this fucking twat trying this stuff out.
I feel like it's another sport the U.S. will dominate with breakdancing.
Yeah. The weird thing was they all used like nicknames too. So that's Ray Gun, and everybody had a specific nickname because they're, that's what breakdancers do, I guess.
Right.
And when they were done, they got in the other person's face. It was funny too.
Just throwing smoke.
So we had a interesting racy moment when a French pole vaulter went to do his jump and took off, cleared the bar, and his package got in the way.
He got his freaking dong caught.
He might have gotten away with it,
although
too,
he
if it wasn't
lost,
for that big French
sure, everybody saw it, and they're trying to get a piece of that.
Oh, yeah. I think there's rumors, because I was listening to 94.9 on the radio, and they were like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he started in OnlyFans, and he's already made $1 million in the first week or some shit.
Sure.
I was like, dude, good for him. If that's true,
sure.
That's awesome.
So much disappointment in his face, though.
Oh, yeah.
You could see it instantly.
Dude, that big old French baguette had to hit the pole.
Yeah. A baguette. So in last weekend, we had the Olympic men's golf competition. We talked about it last Friday, about where everybody stood. This was probably my favorite event to watch because Scotty Scheffler coming out to many men because he went to jail. This guy just went
so crazy,
nuclear on the golf course. He had no shot. He was down. I think he was down 6 strokes at the beginning of the day, and shot 62, 9 under 62 on one of the hardest courses I've ever seen to win. And he was just absolutely on fire. He chipped in. I think he started the round birdie on 1, chipped on 2, and then birdie on 3. And then from there, he just started going. I think the big story was John Rahm. John Rahm started off hot and then just imploded, shooting a 70. He was really in the driver's seat to win. Ended up not medaling and finishing 5th. So Scotty Scheffler wins the gold. Not even being in the league group. Being a couple groups back. Tommy Fleetwood was in the lead group, shot 66, so still finished 2nd. And then Hideki Matsuyama finished 3rd, shooting 65 in the final round.
So wild.
Very cool. Very cool to see golf. Rory finished tied for 5th with John Rahm as well. There was a French guy that was playing, Victor Perez, who's not a big name, who shot a 63 on the final day. He was catching fire at the end and kind of catching up and had a chance.
Right. There's a guy that shot an 81.
Oh boy.
And I just think that's crazy because I'm like, dude, realistically,
boy.
If I kept practicing, I feel like I could shoot an 81.
Yeah, that's man, it's Matt Fitzpatrick too,
Yeah.
and he withdrew. He withdrew because he had no chance of winning. Matt Fitzpatrick is a major winner.
Oh, really?
He won the PGA Championship, I think, 2 years ago.
That's so crazy.
That's wild.
Well, he had a rough day on that 3rd course.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever shoot an 81 on that course, but
probably not. That's actually probably insanely good, but it's just hilarious to think when we go golfing, you and Lezuc actually hit those scores on the golf courses we play. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
we're just idiots off the couch drinking beers.
So women's golf is going now. They have the final round tomorrow, which I don't know. Why not make men's golf close on the final weekend? But whatever. So right now you have Lydia Ko and Morgane Matreau in the lead at 9 under, and then an American tied for 3rd, Rose Zhang. Nelly Korda, who's probably the best women's golfer in the world right now, is tied for 7. So
wow.
You can see her maybe make a run.
Yeah.
She's five strokes back, but anything can happen.
Cool. So that's it. We need to get Trump's what is it? His niece, grandniece, or whatever.
Oh yeah, Kai
Kai.
Trump.
Dude, I've
She
seen some videos of her golfing. She's fucking good.
Yeah, so two things. So Kai Trump is very good. She was on Good Good and she played with Grant Horvat, I think. Very good golfer.
Yeah,
I don't
insanely
know.
good.
I don't know if we talked about it, but Donald Trump did play with Bryson DeChambeau in his Breaking 50 series. I
Yeah,
don't
we
remember
talked
if
about it
we
last
talked
week,
about
I
it.
think.
Yeah. Trump is a gamer at golf. Trump
Dude, he
Trump
hit
can
2
golf.
eagles by himself.
Yeah, Trump can golf.
That's insane.
He just laces drives dead down the middle. He's dynamite with his irons and wedges, and as ugly as his putting stroke is, he can putt.
So I think that answers the question about the whole controversial
Oh
Biden
yeah,
versus Trump on the golf course. It would
not
be a
even close.
slaughter. It would.
Yeah, not even close.
Biden would golf like a 120.
Not to mention, Trump owns and has built
World
10,
class.
15 courses
Yeah.
that are world, like you said, world class, some of the best in the world. I don't think Biden has a chance.
No, he doesn't. I mean, let's be realistic. Biden couldn't even drive a golf cart 18 holes. Like, he would die halfway through it. So,
Oh man.
not even close. And that's not like taking a dig at Biden either. I would get smoked by Trump. I think we
Yep.
all would. Like, he's hella good. It's crazy.
Yeah. So moving on from the Olympics, next week we'll touch on the closing ceremonies and figure out who wins the gold battle. Moving on to what's really going to take up our attention. Starting to get my fantasy football game in order. Looking at numbers, the NFL preseason has kicked off week 2. We actually had 2 games last night, and then we got 4 games.
Football's back.
We got 4 games tonight. That have played or been playing. We actually saw some starters today.
Which is nice. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Some of the starters actually play. Some of them didn't. I know Patriots, Panthers. Drake May got a couple snaps and looked pretty good.
That's fun. Yeah, unfortunately, I was digging up shit pipes, so I kind of missed all of the preseason football this week. But I'm going to go back and watch at least the first period of all 4 games.
Yeah, so Drake May started. He threw a couple of passes, number 1 pick for the Panthers. Went 2 for 3, 19 yards.
He was the 3rd
Really-
overall pick, right?
Yeah, really, Joe Milton, who is a former Michigan quarterback, then transferred to Tennessee, was about the strongest arm I've ever seen. Stole the show a little bit, and he's been rumbling around in the in training camp and everything about his arm and everything. But he went 4 for 6, 54 yards with a touchdown, and then he ran 5 carries, 22 yards. So he had a big debut.
When did Antonio Gibson join the Patriots? I didn't catch that news.
Yeah, I did not know that.
That's interesting. So it's
They
just,
still have Ramondre Stevenson, who also played, which is crazy.
he did. He got a couple snaps. Nice.
Yeah, and then the Panthers didn't play anybody, nor did they do anything. I mean, they were just trash. 3 points, barely any offense. Just a big pile of trash.
Dude, just a bunch of fucking dog shit.
The Patriots did, in other news, cut Juju Smith-Schuster.
I'm not surprised, dude. He looked like garbage the last couple of years.
I could see him joining the Chiefs pretty soon.
I don't even know if they want him back.
Yeah.
He is not the same player. I don't know what happened to that guy. He fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
I used to think he was a really good receiver. Like back
He
in
was.
his Steelers days, he was he was good.
He was.
And then like I said, he hit a wall, and he's never been the same. It's kind of
The other Thursday night game was Lions Giants, which again, no starters or anybody played, so nothing of record. But the big news was the training camp. They had joint practices all week before they played,
Oh, yeah.
and some of the biggest fights broke out between the 2
Dude,
teams.
just hands everywhere.
I don't have videos of them, but the first one was Malik Neighbors, I think, in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Or no, it was a Monroe State Brown that came down and got in the middle of it with some of the Giants DBs, and it was just chaos. And then Malik Neighbors on the other side came by, hit somebody, and it was just a big fight.
It was those were actual punches. Like those were
Yeah,
hands on site.
everybody's throwing punches.
Yeah.
It's interesting because they have the head protectors now that they wear at practice, so now people are just taking their helmets off and swinging them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw DK Metcalf did that in a joint practice where he swung his helmet at somebody.
Psycho.
Which I would not want anything swung at me from that guy.
No, dude, him or Myles Garrett, no thanks. Ask what's his face how that turned out for him.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph.
Dude, his fucking head is just like into his shoulders now. He doesn't even have a neck anymore.
Yeah. He's a dumb bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple games today, Texans and Steelers played, and the Texans got CJ Stroud out there for one possession, and they scored a touchdown. He threw a touchdown to, I believe he threw it to Tank Dell.
Yeah, he was 2 of 4 with 41 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he threw a 34-yard touchdown to Tank Dell, which is crazy. I mean, the Texans are just going to be good. The Steelers did play Justin Fields, so, CJ Stroud versus Justin Fields, two of my favorite Ohio State quarterbacks of all time. Justin Fields looked good. Made a lot of good throws. Still don't think he's going to be a starter. Russ is going to run him into the ground, but
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see Justin Fields do well.
I feel like Russ is like the perfect Mike Tomlin type of quarterback too.
Yeah.
He's just like that safe. He's got a little options here and there, and that he's going to keep him in the game just long enough so that his defense can do all the work type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. That team actually might be a lot better, but they're still in the hardest division in football, and I think they're still the worst team in that division.
Another 9-8 year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Sorry, Russ. Not going to happen.
The Falcons and Dolphins played. Again, nobody played, but Michael Penix Jr. did get in, which, was he played pretty well. He threw for 140 yards.
Which I think is so stupid because, like, some of these teams, like, you're not a playoff team. You're not you're not going to the Super Bowl this year. Your players need playing time. They need to get better. Like, why are you holding out in the preseason for? You're going to save it for this season so you can make a run at the playoffs? Like, bro, the Commanders are not going to the playoffs, and neither are the fucking Falcons. Like, get your players out there, especially your young ones, and get them some NFL experience. You're just slowing their development.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's
like
stupid.
100%. At least play them like a half.
Yeah.
Play them a quarter. Like get some rhythm going in a real game action.
Right. Well, what are you saving them for? Like, you have nothing
You
going for you.
You can simulate in some cases, but you can't simulate live game action.
No. Yeah, I hate that. Shitty teams should always play their starters in the preseason.
And then the last game today was Eagles-Ravens, which could be a potential Super Bowl battle. Nobody played. The Eagles played Kenny Pickett, and the Ravens started Josh Johnson. So literally they didn't play anybody. I can't imagine buying tickets to go see these games.
Right. That one actually makes sense, right? Like, two teams that are definitely going to make deep playoff runs. You're not going to play your starters through the playoffs. Or, through the preseason.
Yeah,
Kenny Pickett, though, 89 yards and a TD.
Yeah. So we got a big slate tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 games.
49ers.
6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games tomorrow. Browns and Niners play.
Yep.
Browns play at 1:25, which they'll probably not play anybody. They play the Packers at Cleveland Browns Stadium, and then the Niners play at 4 o'clock. Play Titans in Nashville.
O'clock. Yeah, we're going to lay a beat down on them because, like, our worst player, like our 4th string player, is better than their starters. So, it's going to be ugly, I think, for the Titans.
So, we got some big NFL news rumblings in the trade market. I think for the last 2 weeks, Brandon Ayuk's been on the trade block. We thought he was going to the Steelers. They backed out. We thought he was going to the Browns. Thought he was going to the Patriots. And now it's just in limbo right now.
Yeah, no one knows, man. It's impossible to predict how this is going to play out. It seems like it's going one way, and then it takes a complete U-turn and goes the opposite direction. So I feel like part of it is that Brandon Ayuk is being a little too stubborn. Because I have heard through the grapevine that the Niners have offered him like a pretty decent offer, and he wants more money. And then I have also heard on the other side of things that he was actually able to go talk to certain teams, and he turned down interviews with certain teams because he doesn't want to play for a shitty team. But it's like, dude, you can't have both. Like, you're either going to go get your bag and play for a shit team, or you're going to go to a team that's good, and they're not going to be able to pay you that much. Like, choose. You can't just be stuck in the middle and making everyone wait. So I think a little bit of it is more on Brandon than it is the 49ers.
Yeah, I saw a report that said the Browns offered him Amari Cooper and a 5th-round pick for Brandon Ayuk, and Ayuk didn't want to play for the Browns. And I don't know how true that is. Probably some made-up shit, but...
It kind of seems like that's a lot of the media, is that he's the one holding up everything, whether it's a trade or the offer he's getting from the 49ers. He's just not taking anything. And it's like, dude, choose. Like, you're going to end up just playing on your 5th-year option if you don't.
In similar news, Amari Cooper after that report came out, Amari Cooper made an Instagram post that said something to the effect that I wouldn't hate it if he was traded to the Niners. So hopefully the Browns...
he's throwing a little shade at the Browns.
Yeah, hopefully the Browns can smooth that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we need him.
Well, I mean, if he found out that they're, like, considering trading him, maybe he's a little butthurt about that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's his way of kind of, saying fuck you to them for even offering him to the Niners.
In other wide receiver news, CeeDee Lamb is still gone unsigned for the Cowboys as well. And Jerry Jones came out and said a statement that said he's not worried about it. He's in no rush. And to which CeeDee Lamb went on, I think, Twitter and just said LOL to his comment and just reposted the video and said LOL. So there's another interesting, thing to happen right there. He could hold out or get traded.
I don't think that's going to happen either with him. I think with both situations, the Niners and CeeDee Lamb, they're ultimately going to end up signing and staying with those teams. But it happened with Nick Bosa. It happened with Debo. The years that they went through their contracts, and it was ugly, and it got dragged into the preseason, and basically was resolved right at the beginning of the year. Both players had the worst season they've had on the 49ers. So I'm curious if that's going to be the same situation with Brandon Ayuk, if he's going to have a really terrible year after he signs. And then it would be interesting to see how that plays out for CeeDee Lamb as well. Because maybe that's just the thing. Maybe they're not getting enough practice in, and they're not focused on the right things, and then they just jump into the season unprepared.
Yeah. Yeah, the other wide receiver that always has kind of an aura surrounding him, Stephon Diggs, who found a new home in Houston. There's actually a video that's highlighted if you want to pull it up. And I don't think it's anything. I think they're making too much of it, but he's super animated talking to CJ Stroud on the sideline. Which, by the way, the Texans' new uniform is kind of dope. But it looks, he's probably just talking about, hey, this is what I do on certain routes, but
trying to build that chemistry.
Yeah, something to watch.
Find a team in the NFL is going to have 3 I go this way to match all 3. I'm going to be wide open. They came out 11 personnel, which is what the 5-headed monster would be. One back, Joe Mixon, tonight's Dameon Pierce, one
he
tight
might just
end,
be an animated type of dude.
Yeah,
I think so. I think he's just telling him, like, hey, when I do this, throw it to me here, throw it to me at this time. I'm open.
And, dude, I think he's going to eat it up this year.
Yeah.
That team is loaded, man, and he's good. He's still pretty good, so.
Yeah. We also have the Browns have been discussing moving to a new site for a new stadium.
Really?
They are trying to get a new stadium deal somewhere. If you've ever been to Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns Stadium is right in downtown Cleveland, right on the lake, right next to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Probably about the most perfect spot you could ever have a stadium.
That's the current stadium?
Yeah,
And they want to move it?
you couldn't pick a better stadium spot. There's lots that you can tailgate in all around there. It's dead downtown. It's in the heart of Cleveland. Just perfect spot. The stadium's getting old. They talked about renovating it, putting a big, deal renovating it. But the thing is, you know, people are putting new stadiums in, and they're state of the art, and they're domes. So they're talking about putting a dome so they can get a
so they
Super
want to
Bowl.
get all that shit, yeah.
And they found a site in Brook Park, which, to be honest, I don't even know where Brook Park is. I'm gonna look it up right now.
It's near Akron.
Brook Park is, holy shit, is not close.
It's in Y-Town, dog.
It's like Olmsted Falls.
I have no idea where that is.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's only 20 minutes from Cleveland.
I mean, San Francisco 49ers play in Santa Clara, which is like 40 minutes.
Yeah. So it's 20 minutes. I mean, the renderings of the stadium are pretty sick if you've seen them. Probably a mix between the new Falcon Stadium and the new Viking Stadium, where it's a dome and it's state of the art.
Everything is just
got
absolutely.
The Chargers Rams vibe with the screens all around it. Looks
That's
dope.
pretty cool though.
Yeah, it looks
That's almost
dope.
worth it to move off the water.
Yeah. It won't be as electric though. I mean, you can't beat that atmosphere at Cleveland Browns Stadium. It's so loud there. You saw that when the Browns played the Niners last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it's going to be tough to move away from that stadium.
Well, especially when you're in the heart of your actual city.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that sucks. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, and one thing that Browns games are known for is tailgating. I mean, that's it. I mean, tailgating is the way. You hear people talk about the Muni Lot. The Muni Lot is huge for, giant party before Browns games, even when they sucked. So it's going to be tough to take away from that atmosphere.
Can't ruin the dog pound, dude. Not cool.
Well, you'll still get a ton of Browns fans there, but they might not be as drunk.
They can't afford the beers after their new tickets they got to buy to get into that stadium.
Yeah. So yeah, in other Cleveland news, Cleveland Guardians last week when we talked were the hottest team in baseball. They have since lost a lot.
Woo!
I think they've lost about 7 straight games since then. They're now 2 back of the best.
They're in 4th
record in baseball. They're only a game and a half ahead in their division. So they better pick their shit up pretty soon.
Philly
still
killing it.
There's still a lot of games to play. The baseball season is too long. We're looks like 116 games in of 162.
Dude, what is with the White Sox? What are they doing?
Oh, the White Sox have lost. They lost 22 in a row. They just got out of their winning streak, and they just fired their manager and got a new one.
That's horrendous. That's the worst record I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're bad. They lost 22 games in a row.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Their season record is 28-90.
Yeah.
That's insane.
What's wild is the Guardians had the best record in baseball. We're rolling. Still have, 46 games to play. Could finish under 500. I mean, that's how long the baseball season is.
That's wild.
Which is crazy. Yeah, so that'll be an interesting race down the stretch. The the Guardians division is good. The Twins are good. The Royals are good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens as we go down the road. Baseball's the next playoff series, so we'll see what happens there.
Turn up soon.
So in preparation of fantasy football,
let's go.
We have a big ranking of the week. This week, we're going to go top 10 fantasy running backs, and we're going to base this on half a point PPR leagues because I think it's kind of the most, real thing. I think 1 point PPR kind of gets a little bit out of a hand, whether you're using running backs anywhere else. I think half point PPR is the best.
Yeah.
in my opinion, because you kind of get advantage of it, but it doesn't go crazy. So I think I kicked it off last week, so I'll let you kick it off this week.
Yep. So, number one, and I don't even think this is up for debate. I think it's basically hands down, without a doubt. Your boy CMC. He does it all. He's a freaking Swiss Army knife. He can catch. He can run. He can do it everything. He's going to get 1,000 yards on the ground, 1,000 yards in the air. He's a beast. He's a monster. You can't stop him. 25 touchdowns coming this year. Just get ready for the machine himself. CMC, number one. Number two, I have Bijan. And I think that team got a lot better in the offseason. I think Kirk Cousins opens up a lot of space for him. And coming out of college, I mean, the guy was an absolute monster. So I think he's going to have a lot of success in the NFL. I think this is going to be his breakout year. So I have Bijan, number two. Number three, I have Jonathan Taylor. That Colts offensive line is just unrealistic. It's gross. And if they can get Anthony Richardson to stay healthy and keep that offense churning, I think he's going to have another monster year like he had 2 years ago. So I got JT at number three. Number four, once again, you know, the offense is coming back together. Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy. So I got Breece Hall from the Jets, number four. He's another guy that can do it all. He can catch. He can run. He's a beast. Super talented. Super young. So, yeah, I got Breece Hall, number where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, Saquon Barkley. I hate the Eagles. Fuck the Eagles. But there's no doubt that Saquon Barkley is an absolute monster. And that team is really good. Their offensive line is really good. So, he's definitely going to have a good year. Easily number 5. Number 6, I have Travis Etienne. I think that's a little bit of a jump for him. I think he's going to finally break up to that elite tier this year. Be a top 6 running back. I think the Jaguars have kept like steadily getting better every year. And I'm hoping that, you know, this will be the year that Trevor Lawrence really puts it together and has a better year than he's had so far in his career. But I think, yeah, Travis Etienne is really talented. He's another guy that can catch and do all that shit. Now we're starting to get into the running backs who don't catch as much, mostly ground guys. So I got Joe Mixon on the Houston Texans, which I think is the most electric offense in the NFL. I think a lot of their damage is going to be done in the air, but I still think it's going to open the door a lot for Joe Mixon to run, and I think they're going to be ahead in a lot of games, so he's going to get a ton of carries. Number 8, I got Derrick Henry. King Henry, the fucking tank. He's on the Ravens now, which is insane. He jumped from one of the worst teams in the league to probably top 3 team in the league, which is just ridiculous. So Derrick Henry is just an absolute freak. He just doesn't catch the ball much. He's going to get a ton of work, a ton of goal line chances. So Derrick Henry is easily top 10, number 8. Number 9, I got Jahmyr Gibbs on the Lions, another electric offense. The only issue with him, I would have him a lot higher if he was the only running back on that team. But Montgomery's going to steal a lot of work from him, a lot of goal line stuff. So he slides back a lot. But he is super talented. And then number 10 is a guy who kind of just came out of nowhere last year. And he's on another team that has a really electric offense, and that's Devon Achane, number 10 from the Dolphins. So that's my top 10. I'm standing by it. I know it's perfect, and that's what I got. What do you got?
So I'll start at number 10 and work my way back. Good list from you. I'll kind of reference 2023 numbers as well. So at number 10, this is kind of a little bit of a sleeper pick. This guy had a great start to the season, kind of trailed off, but I'm going to pick Kenneth Walker the third at number 10. Probably won't be on a lot of people's lists, but the guy's electric. I think he's a really good running back. He's a workhorse. If Seattle's offense is humming, he'll do good. He was running back number 19 last year in half PPR league. So he played 15 games, kind of split carries in a couple. I think he'd be good. At number 9, I matched you. I went Jahmyr Gibbs. Jimmy Gibbs last year was number 10 running back. He played 15 games, and he split carries with David Montgomery, which is a pretty wild stat, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that he finished number 9. Yeah, it's just kind of wild. He's an electric running back. He was a rookie last year. He's just going to get more and more touches. Yeah, he's going to have a good year, and the Lions like to use him.
Yeah.
At number 8, I have Travis Etienne. Again, he is a bell cow over there. Last year, he finished as the number 3 running back. Played all 17 games. If the Jaguars are rolling, he's in the mix. I think he's great. Number 7, a little bit of a reach here, but I'm going to take Isaiah Pacheco. He finished as the number 16 running back last year.
He's a puss.
I think this year he's going to get a lot more touches. He's probably going to get his body in shape more, and the Chiefs are going to rely on him a ton. I think Isaiah Pacheco is just going to get a ton of work over there. At number 6, a guy that wasn't on your list that probably should have been, is Rachaad White. Rachaad White finished 7th last
That's kind of surprise
season.
to me, honestly.
Yeah, he finished number 7. He had a lot of catches out of the backfield for that Tampa Bay offense.
Yeah.
Baker likes to use him a lot out of the backfield, and he gets a lot of touches. Played all the games, played all the downs. I think honestly, I almost ranked him higher than number 6.
That's crazy.
He's gonna be high on my draft board, and he's gonna be a steal that not a lot of people think about at the running back position. At number 5, I have Breece Hall. Breece Hall was a maniac last year, finished 4th of all running backs without Aaron Rodgers.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, with Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to do a lot better. He's just a beast of a running back, to be honest with you. And number 4, Saquon. Saquon, if he stays healthy, I think could be the top running back this year. He has the best offensive line in football with the Eagles. Maybe second to the Colts offensive line. I mean, DeAndre Swift ran amok with those guys last year. All running backs do well in that system. I don't see a reason that Saquon can't dominate, especially when you got Jalen Hurts going there.
And he's going to be dumping off to him a lot with screen passes and stuff.
Yeah. And number 3, I have Bijan Robinson. Bijan last year finished as the number 9 running back. So when I saw that, I was thinking it was crazy because they barely used him at the beginning of the year. But Bijan in that offense, like you said, I mean, no more Arthur Smith, new offense, Kirk Cousins, Drake London on the outside. I think Bijan's going to get a lot more touches. I think they're going to use him a lot.
Beefed up O-line, too.
Yeah, I think they're going to use him a ton. And number 2, a happy Jonathan Taylor, no more holding out. Jonathan Taylor is going to dominate. He got hurt last year, correct?
He was hurt at the beginning of the year, coming off the offseason. So what's his face started for a little bit, Zach Moss or whatever.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Taylor came back and dominated. I mean, if he stays healthy, there's no reason he shouldn't be the number 2 running back. I mean, the guy just dominates when he's playing.
Tank. Yeah.
And at number 1, I agree. I mean, there's really no other choice in CMC. The guy just absolutely was above the pack. Last year, fantasy points in half a PPR was 357, which is a full 100 points higher than second place finisher at running back.
He creates a tier of his own.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
He's the automatic number 1 overall pick. If you don't pick him, you're an idiot. I think he's dynamite. The only thing you worry about is him getting hurt, but I mean the guy really doesn't get hurt that often either. A couple guys that I missed on this list is any Dolphins running backs.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't throw A-Chain in there. He had a hell of a year. Yeah,
last year Mostert was the number 2 running back in half-point PPR fantasy, and A-Chain, who got hurt on part of the year, was number 24. He only played 11 games.
Wow.
Which is, kind of wild.
Those first games, though, before he got hurt, he was absolutely tearing the league apart.
Yeah.
So
so that'll be interesting. I don't know if they kind of even out. One was 2, one was 24. So put them out in the middle. They're about 12 or 13. So that was kind of my thought on the Dolphins running backs. And then the other one that you had that I didn't have was Derrick Henry. Just because I don't think a Baltimore Ravens running back has finished in the top 25
Ever
in the last couple of years.
since Ray Rice.
Yeah, I mean Gus Edwards last year finished 20.
Yeah.
He played all 17 games. So top 20 running back. I don't see it coming out of that Ravens offense.
I don't know, man. I have him on the latter half of the top 10, but King Henry, he's unstoppable, dude. He's a freight train, and he put up numbers with the Tennessee Titans, and the Titans are trash. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Going to that team with that offensive line and having Lamar as like an option that opens up so much space for him, because like who are you going to guard, right?
Yeah.
You have Lamar running one way, faking the QB sneak, and you have Henry running the other way. It's like defenses are going to melt. They're not going to know what to do and how to handle that. So I think just with the option that he's in openings that he's going to have, I don't know, man. It's going to be hard to stop that guy. But he is old. He is old, so there's that factor too.
Another one is Kieran Williams for the LA Rams, who finished number 6 actually last year.
Oh, I totally forgot about him. Shit.
Who still is a good choice. I mean, he probably should have made at least one of our top 10 lists. But I don't like the Rams. You definitely don't like the Rams. So that's why he didn't make it. James Cook is another name, and then Jerome Ford finished 17 last year, which he's only going to play a couple games before Nick Chubb comes back.
Yeah, I was going to say, neither of us had Chubb, and that's kind of interesting, because if Chubb comes back healthy, dude, he's easily a number two.
Yeah.
Like that, he's just behind CMC, always.
Josh Jacobs is another one that's playing for the Packers this year.
I could see him having a good year on that team.
Yeah, which he's a bell cow. You could get a lot of carries, and could push him up into the top 10, no problem.
What do you think about? I'm kind of curious your thoughts on Joe Mixon. Why he didn't make your top 10?
So Joe Mixon, I think, was a choice. Joe Mixon finished as the number 5 running back last year in the Cincinnati offense that didn't have Joe Burrow. The Texans offense last year didn't have a running back that made it, I don't think, in the top 25.
Yeah, they had shit last year.
So I didn't put him there because of that offense and how they're going to be throwing the ball all over the field.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I was curious about that. I do think that a big part of their running woes was the lack of talent. I mean, Dameon Pierce was their number one option, and that's not great. Where I think Joe Mixon is a top 10 running back talent-wise. So taking a guy like that and throwing him on an already lethal offense, I can see him having a pretty good year. But it could go either way. Like you said, it could be an all-throw happy offense, and he's just going to be another guy kind of lost in that crowd, like Dameon Pierce was. But I don't know. I kind of lean more towards I think he's going to have a lot of success. And a lot of teams are going to be playing, like cover 4, cover 5 defense against that team, which gives a lot of opportunity for running backs.
Yep. DeAndre Swift on the Bears is a sneaky pick too.
That's true.
Aaron Jones on the Vikings, sneaky. And then Alvin Kamara is always kind of a potential guy that's going to get a ton of catches.
Right. If he can stay healthy, he's another guy that he can sneak into that top 10 maybe. I question their quarterback game there. That team is still it almost feels like they're just kind of melting down so they can go through a rebuild. So I don't know. I kind of don't think he's going to crack it, especially with a lot of these young talented guys like ETN, Gibbs, and A-Chain.
I think a sneaky pick for a running back, here's my sleeper, would be Zach Moss for the Bengals. I think if you take Zach Moss, Chase Brown, they're kind of 1A, 1B for the Bengals, and Joe Mixon has shown that you could score, fantasy-wise in that Bengals offense every year. Zach Moss dominated for the Colts last year. I could see that being a big deal right there.
That's what's crazy is Zach Moss did so well with the Colts that they were honestly questioning splitting the time between him and Jonathan Taylor when Jonathan Taylor came back.
Yep.
So he's definitely got some talent. Like, if you put him as a bell cow on a team like that, Cincinnati, he could definitely crack that top 10. Like, I would not be surprised at all. That's That's all I got, pussy.
I agree. All right, that's it. That's it for this week's episode 7. About That Action. Check us out on all your streaming podcast platforms. Check out our videos on YouTube and on TikTok. We'll put out golf videos, whatever, every week. Check us out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.